Good morning. Happy Wednesday out there.
Happy. Usually I'd say Wacky Wednesday, but it's Wintry Wednesday.
Do you got a
It's definitely.
crow in the background? What's
It's
going
my
on there?
alert. DXYZ just crossed my alert of 6341.
Oh, okay.
DXYZ. It's a good cross with a bad cross. So that's the good cross. It's going back up. Yeah, Wintry Wednesday. The whole like Eastern Seaboard. I mean, outside right now, there's no traffic. I mean, I live in a closed off little neighborhood, but like I can stick my head out and usually I can hear the roar of the ocean, which is actually the roar of the highway. There's no roar. Like all the roads are just covered in snow and ice today. There's no one's going to work today. Um, and I had this idea. I was going to ask Grok, and I forgot to do it before the show. Like, how many people does he think are snowed in today? Because remember what happened during the pandemic when no one could go to work? They just like stayed home and played with stocks all day. So I wonder if we'll get a
Yeah,
buy day today.
maybe. It is a possibility. Oh, I see D&W is hungover from all the bullishness last night. Yeah,
He needs to work on his tight five.
yeah.
He can go up and he
All
can.
right, well,
Yeah, go ahead.
no, I was just going to get started with the SPY unless you had one other thought.
No, go ahead.
All right, so yeah, we're carrying over to more bullishness for the SPY in pre-market, but it's going right back towards the previous all-time highs. So, I was more bullish way down here. Now just got to be a little bit more cautious up here until it really breaks the resistance zone. So, let's see. The target really is like the 608, 609 zone. Just try to break that on daily, weekly candles. Get above it, and if so, it's going to go higher. When you go to the QQQ, we can see that it is also going up pre-market, and the previous all-time high is 539. So this is getting closer to resistance as well, with even more resistance at this 1.618 up here at the 548. So it looks like that's the direction it is going to go, but the closer it gets to these resistance levels, just the more cautious I get. And with the IWM here, we can see that it is also not. Is it continuing? Not really, right? It's down a little bit pre-market. But what we're trying to see is maybe this conversion line can try to act as some sort of support today around 229.48. So possibly this has potential to close the week above on Friday. But if not, it might just go drift a little bit lower, perhaps even retest the 786 before trying to go higher again. So markets do look healthy. They do look good. And I'm not worried about a thing. Even with Tesla here, we can see that it's down to 419 in pre-market. Oh no, it's so
Oh
sad.
no!
It's so scary, right?
Lost 420.69. The world is
Yeah.
over as we know it.
Yeah, it's like, yeah, yesterday it just went down to the 407 zone, 406 tested support. I think what I'm looking at is just the 4-hour chart. Really, we can just look at the 4-hour Ichimoku, and it's kind of telling a story of how it's trying to get to the top side of the cloud. Right, that's what it's really trying to do. But so far, it's not, which means it has potential to, maybe even go back down to where it was yesterday, right? So if it did do that, it wouldn't be a surprise, but it is closer to the top, so perhaps it can break free and flip the cloud to a support. So it's just a process of going higher, guys, and whatever it does, it still is bullish. So with that said,
Indeed.
Tracker.
I did ask Grok about the winter. Apparently, at least 40 million people are snowed in today across the southeast, and 9 major cities are closed. Are reporting major closures today, such as Washington D.C., Baltimore, Maryland, Louisville, Kentucky, Kansas City, Missouri, St. Louis, Missouri, Philadelphia, Richmond, Virginia, Atlanta, and Dallas. They have like you know major snow emergency protocol, winter storm closures, etc. So, yeah, we might get a little bit of a people stuck inside their houses bump. And I've noticed too, like sometimes what happens is you get these winter storms, and like a bunch of people get their power knocked out, and then they can't trade. But we've had enough storms recently that anyone who's going to have their power knocked out, it's already been knocked out and then fixed, and so everything's stronger this time. So I think a lot of people are going to be snowed in at home with power, and so maybe we'll see a bunch of trading this morning.
Yeah, we'll see.
Oh my God, NW, my friend is snowed in with only beer and pizza, and he's all out of pizza.
Good times.
Roddy Piper. I love that quote from They Live. Always a good one. Good Lord, so many requests. The requests are just pouring in. This is great. All right, DXYZ. I did get my alert here. It popped up over $63.58. Here on the chart, you can see DXYZ is above my moving average 75, and it's breaking out of its cloud. This is great. See, look, moving average 75 tracks with the cloud, but now you can see the trend line wants to come out of the cloud, and so is price is already breaking out. You can see the sell order blocks up here between between $65 and $70. But my target overall, just based off of it's going into its fifth wave now, with an extended fourth wave after a short second wave. Yeah, DXYZ is heading for this box between $90 and $114.41, and I think based on this going to the 123.6 fib, the chance of it going to 114.61 for the 223.6 fib. So there you go. I'm still calling for 114.61 for the DXYZ, the next wave top. Then it consolidates and then builds back better, and I have bigger, higher targets for you later. Someone was asking just yesterday, my subscribers, should I get out of DXYZ and go into like MSTX and TSLL? I said, well, look, DXY is just starting to get good again. Just let it run for a little bit. Be a little patient. If you switch grocery store checkout line aisles too frequently, you just keep losing time because even if the other ones look better, don't let FOMO make you get out of a good position. And this was a good position yesterday, and away we go. DXYZ to the moon and to Mars, maybe. Well, definitely to Mars. That's the SpaceX mission, right? I don't know why I clicked on GME. Yeah, Tesla, same thing. I saw this is a variation on the megaphone pattern, and if we could just get back over this 429.71. I mean, we're already here. Like I did this from this low down here at 373, from this high up here at 488.54. We are back above the 78.6 Matt's magic 78.6 retracement. So if it can just hold here, then we'll be testing 100%, 127, and 141. And then my chart just calls for 515.02. Where are you? Why are you waiting here? I must have moved something. Anyway, I'm looking for a retest of the previous high, and then maybe come back down to Matt's 100% before it breaks out. So Tesla just kind of sideways, like Matt said. It could easily wick down to any of the bottoms of this stuff. It could wick down to 4.7, no problem, but then just get right back up again. I was going to look at hey Matt, why don't you talk about something else? I wanted to look up at Max Payne for Tesla this week. I haven't done that in a while, but it might have some bearing this week.
Okay. Yeah, I'll do a couple that I see. Oracle, it's kind of going up pre-market to 190. But I have a monthly GAN here, and I wanted to show you what really has been happening. So it reached the top on a month. These are monthly candles. So it reached the top last month, right, of the arc. And so it just went down to retest support, and now it's going back up to resistance. So there's really no change from month over month. It's just been in the range for the past, basically, since it broke out back in September. It's been in the same range. So this is still the same range because 190 is right here. So it has potential, maybe even go back to 197, 198, maybe, but that's going to be resistance. So am I bullish on it? Yeah, it looks like a bullish chart, but I don't like things at resistance, and it is closer and closer to resistance until it really wants to try to prove that it wants to break above and flip the arc to support. And if that ever happens, then yeah, it'll go to 300. But in the meantime, it's just still in the same range that it's been in since September. And I see a Reddit to RDDT. This one also, we can go with the weekly chart on this one. It's up near resistance as well. And exactly where the angle is, exactly where the arc is. And it is showing that it could be maybe running out of some steam unless it can flip this level, the 192, 193 level, to a support. But in the meantime, it got kind of rejected yesterday. So we'll just pay attention to that. If it can't break above, it might need to go back to retest levels. And there is a lot of support below with the 165 right here, the 2.618, and the conversion line, and the blue levels of the GAN below. So we'll see. We'll see if it can break this resistance or not, but just a little bit cautious at resistance here. And with the last one I see, VST there, Vista Corp, this one's also going up pre-market, and we can see that it's pretty extended from a lot of things here. The conversion line is way down at 160, right? So this is just a weekly chart, so it's a very extended chart, but it does have potential to go to 300, right? But I don't like to chase. Like, the opportunities were really a lot lower, I think. But at this point, if you're not already in it, I think it's just chasing, and it's too risky for me because I don't like to chase. But yes, it's still bullish. It still has a potential to go higher. So with that said,
Yeah, I want to do that. I want to do that VST thing. But come on over to my chart here, and I will show you. Here's the max pain and options expiring this week, this Friday. So in 2 days from now, you can see there's a lot of overlap in options. That usually is good for really cementing the center. And it is 415 for this week. So, I think the market makers just want to keep the price right around 415. They'll let it go high enough, get people to buy, low enough to get people to sell. But in the end, at the end of the week, it's probably going to close right around 415. Probably, because that'll just make them the most money on options. Eventually, though, sentiment's got to take this thing away and start moving the needle on this higher. It just can't. It can't get stuck here. It's way too soon for it to get stuck in this little range. The new range I'm looking for to get stuck in is between 700 and 580 or something like that. Anyway, oh yeah, I said I want to do Viz. Is that the one we just did? VI?
VST, maybe?
VST, that was it. Yeah. All right. I'll come back to this one. I'll do this while you're doing another one. But I did want to show immunoprecise antibodies is a long shot for me, IPA. It was so cheap, though. I bought like $1,000 of it way down here. Show you the 8-hour chart. Like way down here. And yeah, and it's taken off now. It made a 100% move. It doubled from 50 cents to $1 based on this news that they say they've developed a new class of GLP-1 therapies. Basically, it's the idea that you can treat your gosh darn it, what's it called? Diabetes right here. Treat diabetes with something that you can with a patch, basically. You don't have to inject anything. You can just put on your skin. And so the market likes that. And if you just look at the history of this thing, they've had some great moonshots, but then just some, like, I don't know, terrible reversals of fortune. Anyway, look for this. If this just retraces to it's just the A wave top here, this long shot could take us from, that's like 60 cents now. That's like 2,300% higher just to get back to $13. So, this is a long shot I like. It's just worth putting a little small bit of money and see if you can make it into a lot of money. I want to do another one. I've done VST already. My VST chart right here, my 1-2. I think the wave 3. This is a larger degree chart. Yeah, I think it wants to go to 221, back to somewhere between 184 and either 184 or 162, and on higher to 317. Wow, that's nuts. But you're right. Like on the shorter time span, it does seem awfully extended. Well, look, I mean, the market makers are just buying hand over fist, though. Let's see. Let's do a quick retracement. Back to, maybe we should do it to here. It could go, no, I like going back there. Let's go to here. Look for, the 61.8% fib. if you do get a pullback, it could pull back right down there to 154.82. But if it doesn't pull back, flip it over. If it doesn't pull back, look for 213.30 next, and maybe if it goes 141%, then that's 222.74. But it's probably got to go. It's probably got to cool off a little bit, like Matt said. So look for it to kind of hold down in this range.
These charts, if you're chasing these charts, this is how a lot of people get trapped, and this is how a lot of people start to panic because they chase.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
You can see there's a big buy order block. Like your ideal place to buy is like right in here. Like
that's there's a lot of support in the 160s.
Yeah. All right, enough of that. What else do you want to see?
I saw an AMD request, but AMD still is just in the range, guys. It's got hit. The 200-week moving average got hit, and it's just in between averages here. So it can get up to the 129, maybe the 134, but it's just stuck in a range now. But it's part of the bottoming process that it looks like. So it looks like it has potential to finally maybe just consolidate, build a base a little bit, and then go higher once again. So I think it's not guaranteed. It's not necessary to go lower than this 115. So that is the point that I'm watching the most. As long as that holds, then I think this chart will recover over time.
I've got another view on AMD here, a pretty crucial one. We're right at this point. We're at this off of the bottom here to this wave 1 top to this wave 2 bottom. It's either going to go 618 back to 236, or if it gets up to 125.02, then it will only come down to the 1382 at 121.60. So kind of based on the previous flavor of the chart, it's near resistance. It's at resistance right now and wants to go back to 120.29. But if it can get, I'm going to put a little alert right about here. If it can get closer to 125.02, then maybe I can revise this chart like 1 fib higher the whole way. Otherwise, if it can't get any higher, 120.29 is your support testing to buy.
All right. Yeah, I have a Rocket Lab here, and Rocket Lab, so it's at a very important resistance level, and I was saying it yesterday, it's like the $30 up to like the $31 level, and it did get above there yesterday, but now it's like pre-market's going back below. So remember, these are weekly candles, so they can easily wick above during the week, but if it closes below all this resistance, then I think it's not ready yet. It's not ready to go to 35. It's not ready to go higher, so it's at a very important resistance level because of the GAN level here and the ARC here. So we'll see. We'll see if it can break above this week, but judging by pre-market action, maybe it needs more time, so we'll find out. But if it can't break above, then it might come back down to the 26 level here and then maybe just stay in this zone here before it's really trying to go to the 35. So kind of a crucial level right now. But as you know, it's at resistance, which means I'm a little bit more cautious.
I actually sold a little bit of Rocket Lab. I've got a good amount of it. Like I think I had 1,000 shares. I sold 200 just to take a little bit of profit off the top. And if my screen's up here, I will do a great Mattsby fib retracement here from this bottom to this top up here. And of course, I just was playing around with it and I reversed it. Now I want to not reverse. All right, there we go. So you could say this 100% is this high at 31.96, back down to this wave, the start down here 23.94, and so look, if it comes all the way back to a 50% retracement, that's exactly where your 1 hour Ichimoku baseline is, 50%. For like a typical retracement, right, is to the 618. Oh, now I have to flip it again. To the 618 down here at 27. But if it's really bullish, it won't go there. It'll stop at the 50%. So I'm going to flip it back again. Whoops. So look for it potentially to, this one here. Look for it potentially to come down to the 50%, then fail to get back over the 78.6, come back to the 61.8, get over, this is if it's really bullish, this is what it'll try to do, over the 786, maybe back to the almost 100%, show support 786, and then it can break out. And then after that, look for the 127. And that lines up with my wave 3 target up here perfectly for 34.14. So here, just take your screenshot right. Let's see, right about here. And see how the 786 is also what I'm looking for support over here. This is just really, I love when these things work out like this. So again, look for 27.95 for a back test, and then it pulls its way back out of the hole. There you go. The term prognostications on Rocket Lab, using a little bit of my elite wave theory and retracement levels, which are just beautiful. They're wonderful things. Pull this out a little farther. All right.
Do you have any changes with ACHR or no?
They're requesting that. No changes to my chart. It's just sort of, let's see, I could adjust. We already did. Here's Matt's fibs right here, and it did get it sort of showed support of the 786. Didn't even touch it really, and then, or no, it's over the 100 back. Maybe it does touch 968 one more time, and then it wants to go to 127% and 141%, which is $10.23, $10.39. Over the longer period of time, I'm just looking for what happened to my fibs? Looks like I'm looking for it to go to 1374 overall. Like, you don't have to trade in this range unless you're just gambling through this whole area. But basically, my next target is I traded a thing in here. Now my major resistance target is until 1637. So keep holding it. I guess I did talk about this yesterday. It did change a little bit, not in the last couple of days, but since in the last couple of weeks. My ACHR chart. This was my 1-2. No, I'm sorry. Now this is my 1-2, but now it's just the chart's gotten bigger, so the targets are higher. Anyway, 1637 is next. Period. Oracle? Did we do? Is that Oracle?
Yeah.
Or RCL? No.
Yeah, I did it. Oracle. I did it already. I just wanted to jump on to InPhase because I see people are asking about that. But it got rejected. I was talking about this before, how it must hold this level here, this previous support, and it never could get back above it. So, of course, it went lower, this previous support here. And my target now is maybe the lower or the mid 50s again, maybe 56, 57. I think it's going to touch the arc, and basically it never did back here on November. So I think one more final push lower could be the bottom. So it's looking like it's in a bottoming process finally after losing this support zone up here. So we'll see if it just can get to those levels and hold. So not really that bullish. There's no momentum right now. That's why I'm not talking about it anymore, because it proved to me it wanted to go lower right here, right? And once it proved to me it wanted to go lower here, it went lower. So this is something to, just be patient on. There's no rush, because I think it's still in the bottoming process, and it really hasn't made its final low yet.
Yeah, and I'll show just something real quick for the short term on InPhase. I took Matt's retracement levels here, and I pulled it from 89.95 down to this low of 58.42, and you can see the 127 goes to $49.85. The 141 goes to $45.37, and you got this big buy order block waiting to catch price if it can drop into this zone. But yeah, maybe just look for all the way to this 141.4%, maybe like 45.37 in a wick that just touches there, and then let's see if it'll bounce or not. But if you're not shorting this thing, if you're just a buyer, then just wait and see if you can get to. In fact, look, I'll set an alert right there just before it hits that. All right, that's it. That's all I want to say about that.
Yeah, very good. What else we got going on here?
Here's my SMCI chart, super microcomputer. I'm looking for an ABC retrace from its previous high of 122.90, retracing from the low of 17.25 it hit. And my ABC looks like it moved or something. What's going on here? No, that's right. That's right. I just 382236. It hasn't ever. It like just kind of barely made over the 23.6 and then it's sent back down again. Look for it to get over the 23.6 fib next time, over 4218. So it should turn this from resistance to support, and then come to 5761. 5761. And then get tossed back down to 4218 again to actually test it as support. And then if those two work out, then look for it to come up to at least the 61.8%, 8254. But looking back is why I think I've got this at, this should be 97. For the 764 fib retracement. So there you go. And maybe this just goes a little higher. Maybe that's why I talked about this before. I pulled it a little higher. But just look for 5761 next first after it gets over 4218. And that's my SMCI.
All right. Yeah, I see AVGO Broadcom next, and there's something important that's happening right now, and it's basically at this fib extension level right here, the 3.618, and it's above it pre-market. So 244.68 is going to be the number to watch for a weekly candle close on Friday. So this has never closed a week above it ever. Like it wicked above it once back in December, but it did not close a week above it. So this is the test. Can it really close the week above this resistance level? So if it can, then there's a possibility, a potential to go up to the 330s. But if not, it might need to come back down to retest lower levels first. So this will be crucial to watch, in my opinion, right there at the 244.68.
All right. Is Oklo unstoppable? OKLO. I'll tell you right now, I just saw Danny Cheng do an update saying that it's got his red candle signal. And if you look at my chart, yeah, you can definitely see it. Look, this last week, it's at 99%, institutional buyers and 1% traders and no retail, all pushed out. So, yeah, this thing's screaming on up. I see it as being in its fifth wave, and my target is 4502 because this went to the 123.6 down to the 618. That is weird. But, even the fact that it kind of had to do the 764. So my 223.6 is my target, 4502. And that's where I see Oklo heading next. And after that, look for a retracement from 4502 back towards this wave to bottom. Yeah, like that. Ooh, I'd take it to 22. Maybe it gets really bullish and just only retraces to the 50% level. So that's still pretty steep. So look for it possibly going to 2640 after this peak. That'll drive some people out, and then the institutes can get your shares cheaper again. Now they sell them to you here, and then buy them back to you from down here. All right, there you go, Oklo.
Okay. I see requests for Apple and KULR. Do you have a KULR chart first or no?
I do. KULR. By request. I've got this in wave extensions. So here's your obvious 1, 2. Why does it look like it's not? No, that's right. 1, 2, and then so I don't have a handle on exactly if it's going to 764 or 618, but I'm just giving the benefit of a doubt for the 764 first. So let me turn these alone. So $5.77 is my next target. Drops down to 379, up to 87, down to 699, and then the 2382% fib goes to 1415. So there you go. Let me just, you know what I'll do? I'll pull this off the right side, and then send it to 450. Nope, too much. 300. Here. Oh gosh. Sorry, I can just do by hand. There you go. I was trying to get it so you could read the all the numbers there. So you can take a screenshot, and you can see where I'm looking for it to hit the 764, 382, 1382, 100%, 2382. KULR. And if it can't get over the $5.01, then it'll probably send it back down to 3 instead, and that'll change the start.
All right, let me do Apple here, and we can go to my chart. I think Apple's still going lower, guys, simply because it told us, right? If you just looked at the daily chart, it started closing below important levels. It started closing below the 100, below the cloud, below this fib extension level, and it got rejected. So this was a cue that it wants to maybe even go to the 200-day moving average below 217. Or if you go to the weekly chart, it might even want to go down to the 214.77 or even the 50-week moving average, all this zone. So it's getting closer to a support zone, maybe from 210 to 217. But the daily chart did tell the story how I wanted to go lower last week, right? When it started closing below levels in the 230s. So this is looking like it's trying to find its higher low now, and I think it's kind of near. It's going to be near between the 210 maybe and the 217 level.
Yeah, I'd say just based on the way it did that after hours breakdown, it probably almost already hit where it was going to go, where it wanted to go. What if we do from here to here? Matt's fibs. It went down to reversed. Wish they gave us a hotkey to just reverse these things. Yeah, it's already done a 618 retrace. So Apple might be done. It basically just zoomed down to the 61.8% retrace, and if that can hold, then flip it back around. Just look for it to try to reclaim 246.57, and then if it can get that to support, it can go back to retest the previous all-time high, and then continue on higher and higher. So I'd say Apple. There's a good chance Apple hit the port already. That's all I got to say about Apple.
Yeah, either it hit support already or it's very near. So not too much more to panic with Apple. All right, I see QCOM here.
Yeah, QCOM.
Qualcomm. So here we go. Qualcomm. This one, it has to prove to me it really wants to get more bullish because it's under a lot of resistance right now, and it is trying to get inside the cloud here on the weekly chart and above the baseline, but there's still more resistance with the 50-week and the arc above in the 174 zone. So this, in my opinion, still has potential just to go up to resistance levels, get rejected, and come back down. Simply because it never even touched these moving averages down here yet, and there's still a lot of resistance here, and it already got rejected by this arc before in November and October here, right, and came back down. So this is approaching the resistance zone, so this is the very, very cautious zone for me. Not sure if it's really ready to break free, but the only confirmation will be if it can actually flip this arc back to a support, maybe in the 175s, for it to go higher. But until then, I'll be very cautious here on Qualcomm because it doesn't look like it's really ready yet to go higher.
Oh my gosh. I got Qualcomm hit a cycle top. If you look at my screen, let me just do this for a second so you can see a little better. I took the wave start down here at 1161. No, even lower than that. $3.27 to this high is wave 1, and then down here at 1161 is the wave 2. It took a really, really long time to get up to the 764, back down to the 382, and then it did more than 132. It did this weird 1618, 1764 thing, back down to 100, but it's already touched the 2238, never went to the 2382. So then if I bring back these fibs I just pulled off from this high back to the wave 2 start, let's give it the benefit of a doubt, and that's going to be really bullish, and then it bounces off the 50% level at 121.12 because it did make it pretty far. So yeah, look for basically this monthly Ichimoku cloud. You want to buy it if it gets into this cloud. And I know it's a big range from 134 to 125 at the bottom of the cloud. And watch my monthly moving average 75. Maybe when it intersects, but if it gets caught under it, then it might go down to the 50% level, 121 or lower. But if it just bounces off this moving average 75 on the monthly chart, you can draw it yourself. Then that would be a great place to buy support, or at least start to buy support. There you go. That's all. That's my Qualcomm theory.
All right, I think I got time for maybe one more here, and let's see. Yeah, I'll do MSTR for my last one.
Right.
And let me just switch screens here. So here we go. Yeah, I have like a little arrows there. I think it's going back to the previous all-time highs, but the focus for me is just now staying above this weekly conversion line, which it kind of did yesterday at 364. So no matter what price does, I'd like to see it stay above all these indicators here. So if it does do that, then I think it can slowly get back to the all-time highs and try to flip that to support once again. But yeah, I do like the chart again. Beautiful back test of the blue level of the GAN there, and now price looks like it wants to attempt to recover nicely. So just pay attention to that. Even on the daily chart, we got to look at the top of the cloud. It's just getting kind of rejected by the top of the daily cloud, right? So we got to just focus on that. And if price did want to go to the 360s, guess what? There's a lot of confluence of support down there too, with the baseline, the 100 or the 50-day, the conversion line, and all that. So that would be perfectly normal, perfectly healthy. So just waiting for it to break through the daily cloud for the continuation higher.
Oh man, can I do one more?
Yeah,
I'm excited. I've never seen this chart before. I just pulled Matt's fibs from this 950 top down to this 156 bottom. So here's your retraces back up here. So from this 156 here, let's see, how was I? So look for it to want to do an ABC from this low. It already hit the 382. Look at that. Here's the 382. Went lower than 236. So maybe it wants to go higher than 618. I'm looking back here, and maybe it might get to the 70.2. But otherwise, 61.8 is a very decent place for it to go. So somewhere between 647, 713. And then, because it does have a wave start, a higher high, higher low, I've also got these fib extensions on the right, and these look also pretty nice. And I like the confluence between the retraces for the 123.6. See, here's Matt's 141.4. So I think this will go 618. Oh, look at it. Lines with my 70.2. 618, 236, 1236, just like Matt's 141. 76.4, and then the 2236. So I think this one could be a winner. I do like the way it looks. Let's see, from here just to there. So maybe more like this and that. And then like that. There, take a screenshot of that. Here's the extension levels on the right, retracement levels in the middle. What else did I want to say about this? No, it looks pretty good. It's going to have to get to the 76. Yeah, all the stuff over getting over the 76 happens inside this wave extension from 2 to 3. There you go, one stop. You can see down by the MCDX Plus, the institutions like it. These are monthly keys. And you can see the institutions are definitely buying in. So yeah, I might get some of this myself. One stop.
All right, with that said, I gotta run. So you guys have a great day.
Yeah, thank you guys so much. I'm going to look at Tempest AI for ban, not during the show, but I'll post something publicly after the show.
Sounds
All right,
good.
have a good day, Matt.
All right.